going, Sydney? How you guys doing? How the hell am I gonna follow that last time? That was amazing. We were dancing backstage. That was a good time. We built this clitty. My wife's gonna be very confused when I come. I'll be like, babe, I gotta sing this to you. Romantic song. My name's NEMR. I'm a Lebo and an American. So I'm, from 2 third world countries, and as I'm just happy to be here, man. Like, honestly, I fucking love Australia. This is my 2nd time. You guys are fucking awesome. No jokes. This isn't gonna lead into some kind of weird joke. I love the energy in Australia. People here are just fucking excited to exist. Like, everyone's like, oh, fucking sick cunt, fuck yeah. And I'm at a supermarket. Like, there's nothing. They're like, do you want some bags? I was like, yeah, fucking sick cat. I was like, oh shit, bags. Woo! Yeah. Also, the other day, we went to the Opera House. And I did a spot at the Opera House. And dude, I was so pumped. I was like, this is a huge honor. And I got there, and there's the stairs in front of the huge stairs. So I walked up the stairs to go to the the Opera House. And I got to the top of the stairs. And I couldn't find the entrance, so I walked back down the stairs. And I asked the security, I was like, where's the, where? They're like, oh no, there's no entrance. Why do you have stairs randomly in front of the Opera House? No, I'm not joking, I'm asking, why is there stairs that they cover half of the verticality of, you're covering up the beauty of the Opera House, and then if I were to choose how to explain Australia to people, I'd be like, these people, all right, they built stairs because they like stairs. I can imagine some Australian built the stairs and was like, oh, fucking sick, cunt, fuck yeah. Also, I was in Melbourne. Sorry. And Melbourne people get very offended if you say Melbourne in Melbourne. I was like, this is great. I love being here in Melbourne. Somebody's like, Melbourne. I was like, okay. As an Arab, I felt that was way too hostile for for the world we live in. But I was in Melbourne, and and they say, I don't know if you guys do this here too. Nobody in Sydney has said it to me, but they say ye nah ye. Nah ye nah. One of which means yes, and one of which means no. I have no fucking clue which one is which. It's like ye nah ye nah. Ye nah nah ye. Ye nah ye. As an American, I mean, already my education is not like, it's like, you guys gotta cut me some slack, man. Like, I can't. Also, fuck all of you. I went to the Blue Mountains, okay? So as a Lebanese, this is my Lebanese side, right? We're always like, when people ask us about our country, because our country's been through shit, we always try to present the best side. Like, no, you gotta go. And we're always eager. And this is how I know that Australia is a great country, because you guys actually don't give a fuck. I was in the Blue Mountains, and I was walking around, and I was captivated by the beauty, and I was speaking to my friend with my accent, and a couple of random Australian people saw me and said, are you visiting? And I said, yeah. And I said, from where? I said, from the US. And I said, we're going hiking. And they go, be careful from the drop bears. And I was like, what's a drop bear? And they said that there are these mutated koalas that drop from the trees. And I was like, you're fucking kidding me? And they go, no, they Google it. And they show me the most horrifying picture I've ever seen in my fucking life. And I'm in the thick of it. So my heart rate is fucking blasting. They left. They didn't tell me, oh, ha, no, it's just a thing. My Lebanese fucking wife, who calls me and says, how's it going? I'm like, babe, I love you. I just want you to know if something happens to me, I might die. There's bears that attack from the trees. And she goes, no, you idiot, that's a joke. And I'm like, no, I saw it on Google. She's like, Google it. So I Googled it, and it's fucking. Most of my life has been inexplicably confused because I travel a lot and I'm kind of torn between different places. Australia has been confusing but elating. I've been to other countries like Jordan, which have just been confusing and depressing. In Jordan, I remember the first time I went there, if they like a woman and they think she's fine and they want to like catcall her, they call her a head of lettuce. So they say, yeah, like they call her lettuce or a cow. I'm not even making this shit up. But the women don't respond because, you know, they're like they have a brain. And anybody's gonna look at somebody and is like, oh, you're such a cow. Nobody's gonna be like, oh, fuck, you cunt. You're like, nobody. So I've really been enjoying, you say cunt in America and you get canceled. And then you say cunt here and people are like, I love you too. And it's so, I love being here, man. I don't know. I'm just talking. Like, I'm supposed to have a set prepared. I'm just happy to be with you guys. Like, if anybody wants to come up, feel free. I'll just hang out. Like, I don't want. But yeah, like, they don't respond. And like that, the one truth that I've seen my entire life is that women are just like so vastly superior to men in every single way. I'm not pandering. Like, I mean, like genuinely, just better, like smarter, stronger, way stronger. Not physically. Please, like women, stop going to the gym if you can. Seriously, and doing squats and shit, because that's all we have. That's literally all we have. Because let's be honest, like it's just us right now. Like as family, men are obsolete. We're obsolete. We kind of like, 100 years ago, you needed men. It was hot and shit, and you need like stuff, like to turn on the lights, you had to murder your neighbor. So like, it was tough, but now there's Amazon Prime. So what do you need? What do you need a man for? Like objectively speaking, as a man, I don't need me. Like I just sit at home, shit comes to me, I consume it, and then I'm gonna die eventually. But when I say like women are stronger than men, I mean like physically, like they can take pain better than a man can, like any day of, like it's insane. The threshold that women have for pain is nuts. Like they have the babies, right? Which I feel like we don't walk around realizing, like I don't feel like we're conscious of that. Like there's a woman, like the women here can do that. And we can't. Not just physically, but like we couldn't. Like only a woman could go through so much pain and then be still capable of loving the thing that caused her that much pain. Like if a man got pregnant and then it was like a 2-second delivery, just like, what the fuck? And then they gave him the beat, be like, fuck you. We'd be extinct in like 2-3 months, tops. But women will go through labor and they compete. You put a group of mothers together, they start competing over who had the more difficult labor. They're like, I was in labor for 12 hours. 12 hours, I was 36 hours. And the one was like, I'm still in labor right now. And then you always have that one woman that's like, I was going to the hospital and then I just like, and then there he was, my little angel. And all the women are like, because you're a whore. Because you're a slut. They don't say that, but they're thinking it. But this is how gangster women are. Like, I like how guys try to be gangster. Like, they're all like, pull up, fucking, yeah. It's so stupid. Here's the definition of true gangster, in my opinion, okay? And it's women, hands down. Women will go, like, they're giving birth, right? And it's horrifying from, like, what I've seen. Movies, TV shows, fucking devastating, right? And they're just screeching, The man, if he's watching the woman, will faint. The man in the room watching the girl do the whole thing, they need a medical team for the guy. And then the woman's like, is my husband okay? She has to she's worried now about him and this shit. And the guy's dying. And then she gives birth and it's screaming, for Anna. And then they give her the baby. And she's like, this is the most beautiful day of my life. What the fuck was your life that this horrifying experience is like? My mom to this day just says the most beautiful day was when I gave birth to you and your sister. And then she looks at me, she goes, and in war, we were getting bombed in Beirut. She gives birth to me during war, right? And she's like, and you came and it was different. It was 23 hours of some shit, and I'm like, fucking end it at that point. Like, if you were 8 hours in, I'd be like, it's not worth it. And she's like, when they handed you to me, you looked at me, and you said, Mom, I'm here. don't worry, everything's gonna be okay. And I'm like, you need psychiatric care. You're insane. There's no way I fucking talk to you. That's insanity. But my mom's convinced that that's a real thing. That's how tough women are. That's what they can get. And that's like, for me, that's the most gangster shit in the world. Like, when I was, I'm gonna go maybe like a minute over time, but like this is important. In like 2006, I was in my first like actual relationship with a woman. That's when I learned how strong women were. I'm like a really hairy guy because I'm an Arab, and it's an evolution thing. It's the next phase. You're all gonna join us one day. And I had to do this like funny clip where I had to take my shirt off, and I was like, let me shave my chest, and like my back and my shoulders and arms. So I'm getting ready to shave, and my girl's at my house at the time. She walks by and she goes, what are you doing? And I go, I'm gonna shave my upper torso. And she goes, why? And I go, because I got this funny clip. And she's like, no, why are you shaving? Why don't you wax? And I was like, yeah, that was my exact reaction. I was like, absolutely no. It's fucking. She's like, why not? I'm like, because it hurts. She goes, first of all, it doesn't hurt. It feels fine. And second of all, it lasts longer. I was like, I get that it lasts longer, but there's no way it doesn't hurt. Like, you're ripping hair. She goes, NEMR, if it hurt that bad, would we do it so often? And I was like, oh shit, like, that makes perfect sense. I didn't know that women had a higher threshold for pain. So I told her, I'm like, book the appointment. So we go, and this is in Beirut, where the women really like to treat the men nice. So that was sarcasm. So we go, just some cultural. So we go to the appointment, and I walk in, I'm feeling all tough. I take my shirt off, and there's hair everywhere, and I'm like the only guy in the place. And like, there's all these women there, and I'm like, what's up, ladies, how's it going? Feeling all powerful. And the woman lays me down. She goes, you want to start with your chest or your back? And I was like, I'll start, with my chest, because it's, it's the source of my power as a man. Let's do it. And I'm sitting down, and she's like, okay. So she pours like 3 drops of hot wax on my chest, and immediately a tear formed in my eye. Just immediately. And she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, it's just a beautiful experience for me. So she's like, I'm gonna put a strip of paper over the wax, and I'm gonna count to 3, and then I'm gonna, and they don't count to 3, it's a lie. They don't want you to tense up. So they want you to rip it off before you tense up. Like if you're on a roller coaster and they lock you in, and they're like, are you good? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, you wanna get off? Are you good? You're like, actually, honestly, and then it's the same thing. So she puts this strip of paper, and she's like, are you ready? I'm like, yeah. She's like, 1, and she rips the paper off. And so I woke up 3 days later, and I'm just making a joke. I actually screamed so loud that nobody could hear me, but dogs from all over Beirut threw down their cigarettes and came to rescue me. And I ran. I ran out of the place, and I broke up with my girlfriend, of course, and I was like, you tried to murder me! And I just ran and escaped, and I was bleeding everywhere, my chesticles, everything, just blood everywhere. And I just ran. I like that word. And I ran, but women will do the same thing. They'll get wax in very sensitive areas. And they call it a bikini wax or a Brazilian. It sounds like you're going on a vacation. And they'll like book the appointment early in the day, because they're like, leave room later for activities and stuff. They don't go home and like cry in the shower like I did. And then they become friends with the woman that's like, destroying their vagina. Like the woman, their cat, their whatever you want to call vagina. And they go in there and they want to update them on their like gossip. So they'll come in, they'll be like, how's it going with you? And she'll be like, oh, I told my boyfriend, like, he needs to meet my parents. He's like, I'm not ready to meet your parents. And I'm like, why aren't you ready to meet my parents? Like, we've been dating for 10 years. Like, at this point, you should. And he's like, I'm not ready. That's too much of a commitment. And I don't even know if you do that. And I'm like, you should have told me like 8 years ago. I would have known. And the woman's like, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but I'm not being able to reach. The woman's like, no problem. So I'm like, just meet my parents. It's not a big deal. And he's like, I don't even know if that's something I want to do. And she's like, I'm so sorry, I can't reach. She's like, no problem. So she's like, it's just like, if you talk to my parents, like, what's the worst that can happen? And then they're like, all right, thank you, goodbye, that was great, and then just have a good day. Anyways, that's my set. I love you guys. Thank you so much. You're all a bunch of sick cats. I appreciate it. Good night, Sydney.